cobbn.org or call 614-427-3226 to get more information. Be the change that you want to see in your community. Join our network.
Ready to warm up from this cold weather? Cruise Planners will help you find the perfect vacation spot. Explore exotic places from Africa to Asia, the Caribbean to Las Vegas to Disneyland, with special offers that make it affordable and exciting. Please go to www.greatgetawaytrip.com for great deals or call today at 614-707-SHIT. That's 614-707-7447.
Here's an idea. You've heard of the notion of pay it forward.
What's the problem with this thing? I'd rather not even do it.
Absurd. Basically, the premise is helping
I just
someone
rather just
with no
do this part
expectations of
and not
payback,
worry about it.
providing assistance to someone,
This is a pain in the ass.
information on simply doing a good deed for a total stranger, and instead of allowing them to pay it back, ask them to pay it forward. Doing favors for other people and asking them to do the same. The principle is the same as multi-level marketing, except that instead of soap or vitamins, it's generosity between strangers that is being passed on. Pay it forward is mentoring, it's volunteering in your community, it's shoveling a neighbor's snow, or cutting an elderly person's grass for them, or taking a senior to the store. Don't wait for someone else to do something good. Do it yourself. It starts with you. Talktainment Radio strongly embraces the notion of pay it forward. In fact, you just did.
Live call-in talk shows. Dial 1-877-932-9766 and join the conversation here on TalkTainmentRadio.com.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Go ahead. Make my day.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
You got the power.
TalkTainmentRadio.com. We go where you go. Download TalkTainmentRadio.com app to your cell or to your tablet. That is radio the way it should be heard. My name is Mr. Bobby. I am the co-host on the Compensatory Concept with Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. And today's topic is VGQ, what it is and how it works. Phone lines are out now, open. You can call 1-877-932-9766 for your questions that you would like for Mr. Fuller to ask. Before we go on, this is from the Gmails from Brother Thompson. He just mentioned that on March the 18th was the birthday or breath day of Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. She would have been 84 years old on the 18th Monday. And he said that he knew that the show would not be until today, the 20th, but he wanted to make that known and in remembrance of Frances Llewellyn Welsing. March the 18th, 1935. She passed away January the 2nd, 2016. And you knew her very well, didn't you, Mr. Fuller?
Well enough in a kind of racist context. When I met her, that was the context in which I met her, and that was consistent down through the years. We used to talk almost every day at one time, talking about the situation back in the 1960s, and just throw ideas back and forth. Sometimes with a third person, Dr. Carl Hutchison out of Chicago. He's passed on now. Hope he wouldn't mind me mentioning his name. But we used to just talk about the race issue all the time.
Hey, Bart.
I mean, non-stop. Getting weary. Bleary-eyed. I'm falling off to sleep almost.
That has the video.
Discussing
a problem with the
what it is,
Apple that has the
how
video.
it works, and what to do about it. So Dr. Wilson, at a certain point,
talking about the monitor,
saying she was going to concentrate on the why.
Yeah.
And I was, and
just checking with you, see if you had a problem with that, see if you
consider all of the
why,
done anything. But to make it my focus to what to do about it.
It's the Apple that has the video on it.
That
you only got two apples. You got one with the video and one that you got the
way that we went with it.
Yes, sir.
down through the years.
Mhm.
And we kept in contact with each other pretty close.
No video.
During the waning years
I'm getting
of
audio,
existence
but no
here on the
video.
planet,
Now I called Fred up. He
I
was tied up at the time, but he
was
said,
no
we
longer
usually
in
have to do
contact
this.
with her like I was
Reboot
in
it
the
2 or 3
early
times. I've
days.
done that.
Mhm.
And
still have the
starting
same
with about
problem.
2007.
So I thought maybe if you had the problem, you could give me some insight on it.
I don't know, from 2007 up until the day that she
Well, I mean,
expired.
if you want, you know, but
I
I've
don't
tried
know
that.
very
I've
much
checked all
about
the
the
wiring
type
and
of speeches
everything.
she was making
Rebooted it
and
3
that
times, and I still
sort
get
of
no
thing.
video.
But I tend to believe that she was pretty consistent. That she couldn't have changed that much.
Yeah, the OBS
And
is
that
coming up.
whatever
It's
she
just
was
not
saying
getting the
when she
video.
started off, she was pretty consistent about what she was saying right up until the
What
day
did
that
she
she
do?
died. And I know for sure that I've been that way.
Yes, sir.
I've done that.
Okay.
3
This
times.
is from Brother Mac. He says, "Is Mr. Fuller just got a question for you
Sundays,
after looking over
the
your
Apple
movie list recently.
what
I
is it?
looked at it and noticed that there weren't that many films directed or produced by blacks and starring a majority black cast outside of, I think you had, quote, nothing but a man, end of quote. And I think, quote,
Get a recorder.
But since there are no
Okay.
Spike Lee, Robert Townsend, Mel
I got you. I got you. The one against the wall. Okay.
Is there a reason why you don't have more black type films on your list? Could it be because, go ahead. No, go ahead. He says, could it be because you haven't seen that many, or because you may think that there's nothing we can learn from any of them since we're all black ourselves? Just a thought and a question I have after looking over your list. Well, I think I also have
Well, that's all. I just have to wait for a few minutes for the whole thing comes.
and Malcolm X. That's for sure.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Well, we didn't really have the man to sign anything. I don't think we got much choice, but I wouldn't give it up without some money for it. Because, well, not because we really didn't have him to sign anything like we did everybody else. But it's still our product. Well, right. And that's stuff. That's. Yeah, I noticed. Well, he wouldn't own it. It might have to be a joint ownership, maybe. A joint ownership?
Oh, yeah.
No, it has to be us both own it, if anything. Yeah. No. That's what I'm talking about, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is. That's your problem. Well, what it's saying is that that's what all the show have done for us, but what have we done for him? We never charged him a dime to do this show. So that's the point. It boosted his book sales.
That's what you should be doing, looking at a movie or a play or looking at what's going on right out your window. You're either going to fall in one or two categories. What's constructive, what is not constructive.
If anybody made a ton of money, it's him.
Have constructive lessons that when you look for them, I mean, almost in every scene. And, it's up to the person who's observing.
Right. That's true.
I don't have it on the list. That's the day that you're going to look at it. Some movies are not a lot of lessons, in my opinion. But that doesn't say just because
That's my opinion, that the movie doesn't have lessons. But look for the main lesson.
Some insight on
in every movie. A movie called The Hustler. I know that's on my list.
That seemed correct.
That movie is loaded with lessons.
Is that the one with Paul Newman and Jackie Gleason?
Paul Newman and Jackie Gleason.
Yeah.
It's up front about pool shooting. But it's not just about pool shooting. It's about people and values. All right?
No, I
and
know.
it's all about the main thing, which I started to say a while ago, individuality, because that's what the whole code is based on. The value of the individual person. I mean, you know, you look, you pass people on the streets and all like that. I mean, what is the value of an individual person? And what is that individual person? What is that individual person's value in his or her head? What kind of values does that person have? What kind of principles does that person have? Even with his or her flaws, because all people have flaws. That's another thing. I look for movies where they show a person's flaws.
Do that. Let's just
like in Casablanca.
And see what he says.
Rick Blaine.
And go from there.
When he was asked by a German officer in one of the scenes in the movie,
what's his name?
He was asked a question.
Only thing you want to do is just look at the letter.
Major Strausser, I think the character's name was.
Give a little bit of information. You can't cross that daggone much.
Oh, what is your nationality? He said, I'm a drunkard.
Well, you don't have to,
and then the other person, played by Claude Rains, sitting across the table, said, that makes Ricky citizen of the world.
Okay.
You know, and so, but he was just saying, he was pointing out his own flaw.
Yes.
It's very important for a person to know what their own flaws are. When you look out at the world and talking about everybody else's flaws, there's an old blues song that says, before you accuse me, take a look at yourself.
All righty. TalkTameAtRadio.com. We go where you go. Just download the TalkTameAtRadio.com app to your cell. That is radio the way it should be heard. My name is Mr. Bobby. I am the co-host on the Compensatory Concept with Mr. Neely Fuller. And those who are familiar with the show know that at this particular time is a time that we have set aside for Mr. Fuller to speak about his book. So, Mr. Fuller, speak about your book.
Is he a junior?
The book is called The United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept. Those words, like all words, don't mean anything until you look in the book and see what they mean, because they are explained in the beginning of the book. All words should be explained, particularly when they're just kind of thrown together and they're not familiar with, people are not familiar with the term. The average person, if I said, I have a book, and it's entitled The United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept, that wouldn't mean anything to anybody, including me, until I explain each one of those words. But then there is a more explicit title. I have 3 titles on the book, actually, on the cover of the Revised Expanded Edition. The one that's right in your face, that most people can understand, is the textbook workbook.
I think you just want to be able to take control of the programs
and or action
and
for
just do whatever you want to do with them. Maybe sell them to some of the other stations or something.
A textbook workbook for thinking, for speaking. Shows you some things about what to say and what not to say. And for acting, things to do and things definitely don't do. Suggestions. That's what they are, just suggestions.
Well, I mean, it did. I saw the letter. I did kind of sorry, but you still got to use a level head. You know, just let the lawyer look at it and see what he thinks.
Understand that type.
You know, and then
how to think.
Well, I mean, he can give you some legal advice.
Or at least think about it. Not just trying to dictate to you, but give it some thought.
It's our product.
And some suggestions about what to say about things when you're in situations where you're fumbling for words on a job or whatnot. You're fumbling for words. You're in trouble. All right? Or it looks like trouble's fixing to get started. Or you're trying to get somebody else out of trouble. What words do you use? What words do you not use? When somebody calls your name, what do you say? What do you do? See? Thought, speech, action. It should be in that order. You think,
speak.
Mm-hmm.
Then you act. But you
Yeah,
always start
you
with
ain't got to talk to me long. Just a few
thinking
minutes.
first.
I'm
So
sure
you
can
can
give
get
some
the
ideas
book.
pretty quick
Because
on
the
a
whole
level
book
like
is
that,
about
wasn't
that.
it?
Thinking,
Ain't much
speaking,
to
and
it.
acting as a victim of racism. What do you do in
All right.
every circumstance? In all 9 areas of activity.
Yeah.
Economics,
Yeah.
education, entertainment, labor,
Mm-hmm.
law, politics, religion.
Yeah, I got $100 from her.
Lots of things about sex.
That's all she was going
And
to give
war.
at the time.
Because we're all in a war. What do you do? What do you not do?
She can catch up.
Some ideas about what to think.
I guess
And
she's having
definitely what to say. Because sometimes words can get you in trouble or
Bill
out
was
of trouble.
supposed to email
All
me
right?
back. I haven't got no
That's what you go to
email from him,
court
so
for.
I'm
They're
assuming he's
not
going
doing
at 11
anything but
o'clock
just moving words
I know,
around. That's all that's
I'll
going
know
on
today
in a
if you don't
court.
show up at 11 o'clock.
They're
you're going
moving
not
words
home.
around. But the words that they move around will have an effect on, presumably, everybody
Just tell
who
them
is
you got a
in
letter
the
you
court,
want to look at.
including spectators. Okay? So the book is about that, the realities of your existence on this planet if you're classified as non-white. You can get the book by going to producejustice.com.
Yeah.
That's producejustice.com.
All righty. Producejustice.com. Okay, let's go back to the Gmails. And here's one from Brother Smothers.
Well, I mean, at that point in time,
he says this, Mr. Fuller. Under the system of white supremacy, would it benefit anyone for a black male to attempt marriage with a non-white female who already has children slash a child with a male slash man?
Oh, that's the person's personal choice. Whether or not you can, here again, everything is constructive and non-constructive. If you can do it and make the result constructive, if you do all the figuring up front, because all the figuring is supposed to be up front.
Now, if they want to pay some big money,
not
for
as
it,
you go along.
big money.
You do everything up front. Can I? If I do this,
pay some big money.
Is it going to have a constructive result for everybody involved? Or is it going to make a situation that's questionable worse than it already is? Every situation that you walk into voluntarily, you should be able to make that situation better. Okay? That's whether you're going into a so-called one-on-one sexual relationship,
it hasn't been over maybe
or
15,000
whether you are getting into a car with your buddies,
I'm saying over the years.
and rob somebody. They got a car full of guns.
I'm just saying,
and I've given this illustration before. You got a decision to make.
Yes.
And according to the code,
at first we got
what does the
some
record
money,
show?
but we use that for paying bills.
And when people engage in that type of thing and think that they're going to do it for a lifetime or for the next 10 or 15 years without something real ugly happening.
I mean, right there, 1,700.
So you look at the record of people who have gone before you with the same type of resources that you have in anything that you do.
Yes, sir.
That includes relationships. You make a study first.
That's true.
All right?
We did.
And then you talk to the person that you're going to be involved with. And because everything is going to be either constructive or non-constructive. There's no such thing as in between.
Yes. Wow. All
Well,
right. Let's continue on.
Year before last.
From Root Dog says this. Mr. Fuller.
16?
Is there a difference between the terms human trafficking, involuntary servitude, and slavery in the system of white supremacy racism?
Well, here we get into the word, guys, procedures according to the code. Whenever anybody uses a term, even if you have looked the term up in 100 different ways in 100 different dictionaries, it's not for you to make a call of what the word means. When you hear another person use the same term that you have researched, you want to know what that person means. That's very important. Otherwise, you're going to have an argument, you know, and because that's where it's going to lead, because you have a misunderstanding. One person has a definition of the term that's completely alien to the definition that you have. They have their definition. They might have even made up one, like I do. I make up terms using the same words. I mean, or rather familiar words, and give the compensatory definition to it. Because all I'm trying to do is just accomplish a job. A word is nothing but a tool.
Compensatory definition one that you made up.
At least 3.
Yes. Right, meaning you're making up for a lack of substance according to you in the definitions that other people have given you. Like the word justice. For years I was hearing, and I read it in different dictionaries, the definition for the word justice, and I didn't like any of them. But one thing, they used the word fair a lot.
What is fair?
And so I was thinking, what is the word fair associated with?
Yes.
Fair is associated with the word white. My fair lady. She has fair skin.
Yes.
All right. Lady fair. Usually referring to something white. All right. So I'm saying justice is white.
Well,
see?
That's a good thing.
Terminology. In my opinion.
That's a good thing.
And I'm saying, no, you know, we need a better definition of that.
It's not something that he's doing, it's something that we're doing.
Well, I want justice.
And he has
say, oh, you want me to treat you fairly.
No money coming.
And the person automatically will say,
then obviously,
yeah,
at that point
you know, I want fair play.
What we're doing.
All right? Oh, you want me to treat you, you want me to treat you like you're white, but you ain't white. You're black. You know?
That's what I'm saying.
So, you know, hey, there's a difference between white and black in the system of white supremacy for sure. Okay? So, for clarity and for universality, I came up in 1994 with a compensatory definition for justice. And it is one,
I agree with that.
2 parts, guaranteeing, number 1, guaranteeing that no person is mistreated, and part 2, guaranteeing that the person that needs help the most gets the most constructive help. And so far, I don't think that definition will be beat. It probably can be, but that's my position right now.
Right.
I haven't heard anybody come up with a better
one. Right,
and it's something you can measure. See, just to say that I want fair play, what does that mean? It's too abstract. Lots of words have definitions that really don't tell you much. But you know when somebody's being mistreated. Babies almost know when somebody's being mistreated. A child of 3 knows when, or 6 rather, I would say, when the judgment kicks in. A teacher goes down the line of students and puts an orange on everybody's desk and skips over little Willie over there. Willie sees everybody else gets an orange, and this actually happens, all right, where teachers got pets, all right, and got people that they don't like, okay? They gave everybody an orange and then put one on my desk. Walked right past me with the oranges. And so you sit there and see everybody at lunchtime eating their orange. And you're the only one sitting there. You're just a little child. You're not saying nothing. But you don't have anything to eat. That's cruel. That's mistreatment. You guarantee that nobody's mistreated. And you guarantee that the person that needs help the most gets the most constructive help.